Welcome to Keys to Finding a Higher Love, a spiritual guide to relationships. So all relationships offer us an opportunity for spiritual growth. My name is Christine Johnston, and I have been a student of these teachings for many decades, and I love sharing them. I've found that I've been able to transform myself, improve all of my relationships, and bring them to a higher frequency of love. And that's what we'll be sharing today, is how to do that. Relationships, from the most joyful to the most challenging, are an integral part of our soul's path to wholeness and the balancing of our karma. Our inner healing is the key to manifesting healthy relationships with friends, family, co-workers, and partners. These teachings are taken from the writings and lectures of Mark and Elizabeth Clare Prophet, internationally recognized authors and spiritual leaders. They were messengers for the Ascended Masters in the lineage of the prophets of the Old Testament. The Ascended Masters are our elder brothers and sisters of light in the heaven world. The messengers were trained by the Ascended Masters, and the messengers received teaching known as dictations, containing teaching as well as a transfer of light for our soul's quickening. While receiving these dictations, the messengers were fully conscious and in an exalted state. They taught about relationships, healing, angels, karma, reincarnation, mystical paths of the world's religions, and many other spiritual topics. The teachings are published through the Summit Lighthouse, and they've authored over 100 books and have left a legacy of teaching which continues to be published today. But today, though, we will be looking at the Ascended Masters' teachings specifically on relationships. Elizabeth Clare Prophet's twin flame, Mark Prophet, once said, "All experiences on earth are to teach us the meaning of love." Elizabeth Clare Prophet writes, "When we love someone, we love them above and beyond their faults and the ups and downs of daily living. This enables us to withstand the shocks of human behavior patterns, to better understand how we can improve our existing relationships and magnetize healthy relationships. It's worth getting to know our spiritual anatomy." God is spirit, and our soul is a potential to be God. The soul is a part of us that is mortal, but can become immortal. And as the feminine potential to be God, we refer to the soul in the feminine. Our souls demanded free will, and her separation from God resulted in her descent into earthly planes of illusion, where she lost her memory of her origin. The soul's calling is to reunion with God, but she must be purified. Our thoughts, feelings, and actions have created a karmic debt, our energy field, our consciousness, and the soul faces the trials of this life until she responds to the call that leads to her ascent and culminates in reunion with God. The story of our soul journeying from the highest point of consciousness to these planes below, and then returning with the pearl. The pearl represents our soul's knowledge of her true identity, bringing it home, union with her higher self, and relationships are part of that journey. If you have questions, please hold them to the end, and we will have a time for questions and answers at the end. So the dwelling place of the soul is the seat of the soul chakra. This chakra is located midpoint between the base of the spine and the solar plexus chakra. So you'll see it's from the bottom of this, what we call the chakra man, the seat of the soul is the second one. Soul's called to rise from the seat of the soul chakra to the secret chamber of the heart. And you can see that secret chamber of the heart next to the heart chakra. We're going to get a closer look at that chakra in just a moment. The Ascended Masters have referred to the soul as a child who lives within us. And we are her parents and teachers, even as we are her students. The seat of the soul chakra is an antechamber to the rear and the left of the heart chakra. Our souls have been wounded, and our souls need healing. As we heal the soul and purify the chakras, the soul can rise up that spinal altar from the seat of the soul chakra to the secret chamber of the heart. And that flame that we're also going to see resides, the Christ flame resides in the secret chamber of the heart. And here we have a closer image of that secret chamber of the heart. It's 8 petals, peach in color. And in the center, we see the Christ flame, the threefold flame. This flame burns within our secret chamber of the heart, and it's 1/16 of an inch, and it's invisible to the naked eye. It's our divine spark, though, and it's the potential of our divinity. It's a gift from the Creator to his creation, us. The Trinity of God focuses his attributes of power, wisdom, and love in this threefold flame. It's our seat of cosmic consciousness. And the blue flame represents God's will, the yellow flame, God's wisdom, and the pink flame, God's love. And then as we learn to balance these threefold plumes, these threefold flames, or these 3 plumes of God's consciousness, our relationships improve. The Ascended Masters have given us tools to help us balance these divine qualities. And here's an image, a close-up image of our threefold flame, now also known as the Christ flame. We can think in terms of how we need to have a certain understanding and a certain love and a certain will to heal, to come up higher in consciousness, and therefore then to improve our relationships. So if we are able to take a photograph of ourselves from a spiritual perspective, this chart is what we would look like. And this is how the angels see us. This chart as the divine self shows us 3 figures. The upper figure is actually the sphere of light called the I Am Presence. And it's the Spirit of God that's individualized for each of us. The middle figure is our inner teacher, our higher self. And the lower figure is us evolving on planet Earth. For us to manifest higher love in our relationships, we need to transmute karma. Our karma are the thoughts, the feelings, and the actions of all of our past lives that are recorded in our auric field. The Ascended Masters have given us understanding and tools of how to change or transmute those patterns that we can then manifest more love, more compassion, more mercy towards all of life, including ourselves. So our highest level of consciousness is represented in the upper figure, the presence of God within us. Our I Am Presence is surrounded by 7 spheres, which make up what's known as the causal body. These spheres of pulsating spiritual energy contain the records of all of our good works. Each color of the causal body relates to one of our 7 chakras. These energies are like our cosmic bank account in heaven. The separation of the soul from the I Am Presence is our human consciousness, our sense of limitation, and the accumulation of vibrations from this and all previous lifetimes that are less than the highest qualities of our real self. In other words, our karma prevents us from being able to hear the guidance of our higher self. And that higher self will give us unerring direction when we learn to distinguish the vibration and the communication with a higher self. So this middle figure from the chart is a voice of conscience and tells us right from wrong, giving us guidance. It wants the best for us, and it will never let us down. As we draw closer in vibration to our higher self, our relationships will improve. As our wounds heal, so do our relationships. So this is an image of the higher self, also known as the Christ self. And this slide shows images of the ascended masters, Jesus, Zarathustra, Guru Nanak, and Krishna. All ascended masters are one with the Christ consciousness. We can also attune to the Christ consciousness while we're still in embodiment. And this attunement will guide us in our perspectives and how to best navigate relationships. Our Christ self is a step-down transformer for the energies of the I Am Presence. And here we are on planet Earth as a lower figure in the chart. And here we're depicted surrounded by the violet fire or violet flame. The violet flame is a spiritual energy that is invoked by mantra and visualization. The violet flame transmutes or changes our negative and wounded patterns. The violet flame is like a cosmic eraser, and our consciousness heals as it heals and purifies. Our Christ self and I Am Presence draw closer to us and will be able to manifest more loving interactions in our relationships. But how do we do that? So this image depicts our 4 lower bodies. We've learned that we have 3 higher bodies, the I Am Presence, the higher self, and the causal body. But we also have 4 lower bodies. The most dense of these 4 lower bodies is the physical, then the emotional, the mental, and the etheric or memory body. So these bodies are like, if you think of our auric field as an application of a computer, these are, or excuse me, as all the programs of the computer. Each of these bodies are a file or a folder. And in each folder, there are files. We might have a file that says, I resent my parents, or I have resentments for any number of people from past lives. These files can be deleted and they can be reprogrammed. And that's what the teachings of the Ascended Masters are all about, because we cannot manifest the love that we're called to manifest when we have files of negativity, of resentment and blame and irritation. So when we understand our spiritual anatomy, we can better use these teachings to manifest a higher frequency, a higher vibration of love. We can be more selfless, more compassionate, more merciful. So the first key to manifesting more love in our relationship is to grow closer to our higher self. And we can use the visualizations and the understandings of that chart of the divine self to help us attune to the promptings of the Christ self through our awareness of that threefold flame. The guidance of our Christ consciousness has a frequency that we can distinguish. It's never selfish. It will give us the most loving guidance and in any situation, including our relationships. The easiest way to begin communing with our higher self, we can start to talk to our I Am Presence, or our higher self, our Christ self, just as we would to our closest friend. When we need help, we simply say, "Beloved I Am Presence," or "Beloved higher self, please help me," and then insert your request. We may not get the results that we desire because it may be a lesson to be learned from a loss or difficulty that will help us grow. And ultimately, our I Am Presence and our higher self know what's best for us. But we can be sure that every prayer is heard and acted upon. So one of the tools the Ascended Masters give us is prayer. There's a body of understanding of tools of the Ascended Masters known as the science of the spoken word. The science of the spoken word includes prayer, mantra, song, affirmations, and decrees. Decrees are rhythmic and are often repeated in triplets. So here we have what's a decree known as a tube of light. And the tube of light is what we see in the image of that white shaft of light coming down from the I Am Presence beneath our feet. And it's 9 feet in diameter. And it's scintillating white fire. This tube of light can protect us from outside energies that otherwise might impinge on our auric field. This is one of the ways we can seal ourselves from negativity, and therefore we can be more attuned with our higher self, our threefold flame, our I Am Presence, and then manifest more understanding, more love, more mercy in our relationships. So I invite you to join this audio that I'm going to play of giving this as a decree. We're going to give it 3 times. The audio says to please stand, but that's up to you. You don't have to stand. When we do stand, it's as if we were pulling down this tube around us, and you can see in the image when we're standing, that shaft of light surrounds our form. I'm going to play that now, and feel free to give it with us 3 times.
Tube of Light Decree. Please stand. Visualize the tube of light from your mighty I Am Presence over you, extending around you to a diameter of about 9 feet.
Beloved, I Am Presence bright, round me seal your tube of light. From ascended Master Flame, called forth now in God's own name. Let it keep my temple free from all discord sent to me. I am calling forth violet fire to blaze and transmute all desire, keeping on in freedom's name till I am one with a violet flame.
Actually, I think we're going to give it once, because we're going to just get a little bit more understanding about what action is taking place here. When we think about our relationships with others, and we think about perhaps those negative files that are in the auric field, it's those negative files of our past programming that manifest a difficulty in the relationship. Because if we were already had 100% of our karma balanced, we had no more reactions to anything anyone did, there would be no difficulty in relationships. And we're not there yet. So in order to manifest a higher love, we have to pull down more of God's light, more of who we are, and the highest potential of our being to help us manifest responses to life rather than reactions to life. Try to go through a whole day without feeling irritated once or have a negative reaction. It takes mindfulness, first of all, It takes a willingness to surrender one's ego. And it takes an understanding of why we might want to do that. Because truly no one can hurt us unless we allow that energy to come into our auric field. And when we learn the keys and the tools these Thunder Masters have given us, anyone else's negative energy can bounce off of our auric field. And we can manifest peace, understanding, and mercy. We're going to learn about 3 different types of relationships. We have twin flame relationships, soulmate relationships, and karmic relationships. Before our birth, our soul is shown her mission for each life. And it may involve righting the wrongs that she has done to others by serving them in love and extending forgiveness. So our souls learn lessons of love by evolving through relationships. We'll explore the twin flame relationship in more detail. This image shows that long ago, each of us and our twin flame were created out of one white fire core. We were one with that twin flame in the beginning, but we became separated through our karma. The longing for our twin flame is a longing for the perfect love that we have known in spiritual realms when the 2 of us were first created. A twin flame is the other side of our being. Twin flames are made for each other in the truest sense of the word. The memory of the twin flame is why many people seek the love that they know exists somewhere. Our soul's inner recognition of being one half of the other whole goads the soul towards wholeness. This image shows that we were created whole, alpha and omega, masculine and feminine. One sphere of light, 2 beings were created from that. One carrying the minus charge and one carrying the plus. And the Chinese symbol of the Tai Chi symbolizes this. Through many lifetimes, we have drifted far apart from our twin flame. We may have made karma that prevents us from recognizing one another or even being able to be harmonious in that relationship. The soulmate relationship is the second type of relationship. A soulmate is the one with whom we have a soul compatibility and a mission to fulfill together. The soulmate is not the same as a twin flame. Twin flames are one in their spiritual origin, and they share a spiritual destiny. Soulmates are 2 souls who share a compatibility and a complementary calling in life. Soulmates usually work well together and are often project-oriented. It's usually a harmonious relationship. While we have only one twin flame, we may have a number of people with whom we have a soulmate relationship. One of the greatest accomplishments of all time was made by a couple who were not twin flames, but whose own twin flame were ascended and therefore able to assist them in their mission. Mary and Joseph, appointed by God to bring forth the Christ in Jesus, were aided from on high by Archangel Raphael, the twin flame of Mother Mary, and by Portia, the goddess of justice, the complement of Saint Germain, who was embodied as Joseph. Karmic relationships. Third type of relationship is the karmic relationship. And understanding karma and how it manifests helps us to healthfully navigate these relationships. Our daily allotment of past karma is released to us daily at sunrise. We either see it as a pattern to be corrected, or we may be so comfortable with the pattern that we re-energize it, or we're blinded by it. Our karma is our unloving words, thoughts, and feelings and deeds from this and previous embodiments. Karmic partners have a debt to one another. They are neither twin flames nor soulmates, although twin flames and soulmates also often have karma with each other. Karmic partners come together for the purpose of balancing karma. We have positive and negative karma, and our good karma returns as harmony, fulfillment, and opportunity. Our negative karma returns as challenges or difficult relationships. Mrs. Prophet teaches that the more intense the karma, the more intense the experience may be when we first meet someone. We may be attracted to someone because our soul recognizes the need to serve that one to balance a debt owed. Intense attraction may be a sign of pure love, but it can also be a sign of karma. So we're going to watch a video clip on the difference between infatuation and true love.
Regarding relationships with the opposite sex, how does one tell the difference between infatuation and true love? If you don't know, then let time tell you. Don't jump into something if you don't know. Don't be so anxious to have, a great romantic involvement and then be hurt, be profoundly hurt afterwards because you didn't wait and watch and take things step by step and know what you're getting into from the beginning and so forth.
Angels can help us find a higher love. Archangels Chamuel and Charity serve on the pink ray, which is associated with the heart chakra and the frequency of God's love. We can call to them to help us improve our relationships or to find the twin flame. And to heal our own soul and our chakras so that we can manifest as a healthier magnet for our relationships. We're going to watch now another video clip. This is a 4-minute video clip of Mrs. Prophet revealing what we have learned about twin flames.
Archangel Chamuel and Charity are pledged to reunite you with your twin flame if you obey the law of divine love and you are willing to balance your karma, even through great sacrifice and hard work. Twin flames are divine complements. God created you with another half. There was a white fire body of light, a sphere of wholeness. God took this sphere and out of it created 2 of you, twins, identical twins, 2 halves of the divine whole. While you lived in the levels of perfection, you were always one. When you left the presence of God, sometime somewhere along the way, you started making karma with other people, started getting into other relationships, started quarreling with your twin flame, and became separated for long centuries. You grew farther and farther apart. Sometimes now you don't encounter your twin flame for many lifetimes. You feel alone without your other half, and the sense of aloneness can be all-consuming. The book Healing Your Aloneness teaches you how to go about restoring your inner wholeness through communication with your inner child and inner adult. Wholeness is a state of being one with God and in harmony with the various compartments of your own self. By engaging in the process of working on yourself daily,
you free up your creative energies so that you can attract your twin flame. Unless you establish a direction of wholeness in your life and make inner and outer wholeness a daily priority, you run the risk of your twin flame not recognizing you, or you not recognizing your twin flame. Wholeness means striving to be who you were in the beginning with your twin flame, so you can be together in the reality, not the illusion, of your true self today. Chamula and Charity teach us the way to unite with our twin flame. It's first to unite with your own God presence. In that pole star of being, they say, in that magnet of sacred fire, you shall become a blazing sun to draw unto yourself your twin flame. They say that the way to union with your twin flame is to get busy and do the job that you know very well God has assigned you to do, even if you don't want to. Just do it with a joyous heart, because it happens to be your karma. Be joyous that you have the opportunity to balance karma every day. Chamula and Charity teach that ye love one another as I have loved you is the word of your Holy Christ self spoken to you and to your twin flame. For, painful as it might be, you are separated from your twin flame for only one reason. You have not loved one another as Christ has loved you individually. And therefore the karma of non-loving has produced the separation. Think about that. Let perfect love cast out your fear of being alone, separated from God and your twin flame. Invoke the violet flame with the promise, O God, never again may I injure my twin flame or any part of life. If you love one another as Christ has loved you forever, so it will be counted unto you as the expression of love for your twin flame. In other words, whoever you are with, in whatever relationship, family, friends, relatives, neighbors, whoever you meet in the workplace, when you give to everyone the love that you would give to your twin flame, that love does go to your twin flame and is counted toward the restoration. So when you see people, remember, Christ dwells in them, they have a guardian angel. Give all the abundance of love of your heart, and know that that love is never lost, never wasted, no matter what the reaction, because pure divine love returns to the heart of God always, after you have sent it through whoever you are loving. Chamula and Charity tell us, love all life free, and you see, you will balance every injustice that has separated you from the beloved of your heart.
Oh, it sounds easy, but we know that perfect love isn't easy. And the Ascended Masters have given us understanding and tools to help us heal those parts of ourselves that are still wounded, still caught in blame or irritation, or seeing things from a very human perspective rather than from the perspective of the higher self. So all that we do affects our twin flame. The love that we give and the negatives of our old wounds, when they get expressed, that also affects our twin flame. Because twin flames share a blueprint of identity, whatever energy we send out is experienced by our twin flame. That might help us to be more mindful when we start to feel one of the negative emotions. We can call to our higher self, or my Yayam presence, an Ascended Master, an angel, to help us pull us out of that energy pattern that's not serving us, our twin flame, or our path homeward. This image shows violet flame orbs of love coming from our hearts, going out to anyone in our world that we need to send mercy, forgiveness, and love to. This can be a visualization that we use when we invoke violet flame, mantras, which we're going to be doing today, or whether we're in a meditation and we simply want to send love to those that we know need our love, or that we need to forgive and we need to heal the separation between us. When we love someone, it doesn't mean that we love their faults or their unkindness. We love them at the point of the Christ self. So knowing that, it's easy for us to give love to the energies of the Christ of that one. Key number 4, treat every relationship as if it were our twin flame. It's a misconception that a twin flame relationship will certainly bring us perfect love. Some twin flames has divorced because they were not able to overcome through love the karma that had separated them. Forgiveness is a key to all relationships, and many relationships fail because of not letting go of resentment. Invoking the violet flame can transmute the energy of non-forgiveness. But first we have to be aware. We have to be mindful. We have to note when our vibration falls into one of the negative patterns, the grooves of consciousness that we have fallen into in past lives and this life. Of course, irritation, resentment, blame are all familiar patterns. When we note them, we can pull light into them, which will heal them, rise up out of them to the flame of the Christ, that threefold flame. We can visualize that threefold flame. We can actually visualize it expanded over our entire form. That's the way Jesus Christ's threefold flame was. It was the full height of his form. That's why he was able to do things such as walk on water. But in order for our threefold flame to expand, it needs to be balanced. And in order for it to be balanced, we need to be aware of those things that would cause an imbalance in the threefold flame, which be any of the misuses of God's light, which is coming to us all the time. This is an image of twin flames. Some of you may recognize them as messengers of the I Am activity, Godfrey Ray King and his twin flame, Lotus. When Mrs. Prophet says on marriage, it doesn't matter if you're married to your twin flame, if you never met your twin flame. What matters is that you realize that the sacredness of the marriage relationship. Marriage is a sacred union, and service based on love is necessary in the marriage relationship. When we truly love, we want to love, support, and serve the other person. But marriage cannot be entered into without a deep awareness of if we're being called by our higher self to enter into that marriage relationship. We've all made mistakes in the past, and it requires us to serve others. And that means anyone who may come into our life. Admitting our responsibility to right all past wrongs is a first step towards wholeness on the path of divine love. So there's a difference between divine love and human love. Divine love sees through the flame of the Christ. We hold what's known as the Immaculate Concept, or an image of someone as they would be if they were manifesting their Christhood. We see the good in them. It doesn't mean that we don't also recognize that they have faults, but that's not what we focus on. We focus on the qualities of the Christ that they've manifested. Marriage is a serious commitment, especially when there are children involved. The Ascended Masters do not disapprove of divorce, and it may indeed be necessary. They do recommend that we do all that we can in a relationship, leaving no stone unturned before we decide to leave. In fact, they suggest that we wait for a sign from God that the karma is over and that we are free to move on. We must never be the cause of the breakup of a marriage. People have asked Mrs. Prophet what to do in cases where they have recognized their twin flame and that twin flame happens to be married to another person. She has said simply, turn around and walk away. If at some future time, apart from any actions from yourself, the twin flame becomes available again, that might be in divine order. We don't want the karma of breaking up a marriage or a family. Such karma might actually drive you and your twin flame farther apart, because in a future time, that karma with the people you or your twin flame left behind would still have to be dealt with. We can ask the angels or the ascended masters to help us decide to start a relationship or to end one. Invoking the violet flame transmute our karmic patterns and heals our soul. Invoking the violet flame transmutes the karma that makes relationships difficult. It clears the way for the best possible relationships, whether that means finding the one person that we're destined to be with, or whether it means removing the blocks to a higher love in the relationships that we're in. The forgiving heart is a liberated heart. So this is a prayer that we can give. We can say this together. In the name of my holy Christ self, I call to the violet flame for my causal body, for my twin flame, wherever that the beloved may be. And then this is a violet flame mantra that's been given to us as a gift from Saint Germain, the Ascended Master who serves on the violet ray. And for those of you that want to return next Sunday, we're going to be going into much more depth about the violet flame and the violet flame mantras and how to use them for the healing of our relationships. So this mantra goes like this. I am a being of violet fire. I am the purity God desires. And we can memorize that. We can use it whenever we find ourselves starting to fall into a negative pattern. We don't have to continue making karma as long as we are willing to discipline ourselves to be mindful, to recognize when we're falling into a old negative pattern, and we invoke light into that pattern. Let's say that 3 times together. I am a being of violet fire. I am the purity God desires. I am a being of violet fire. I am the purity God desires. I am a being of violet fire. I am the purity God desires. It's one of the mantras we can have in our back pocket. For whenever it's needed. This is an image of our purified, perfected chakras and the violet flame. So when we're giving this mantra, we're imagining violet flame all around us. And you can see that white stream of light coming in through the crown chakra. That's coming from the I am presence. That light is God's light coming into us every moment of every day. And we qualify it by our old patterns of how we've used those chakras. The violet flame can actually change and heal the unhealthy patterns in our chakras. We can also call to Archangel Michael to protect our relationships. He can protect our relationships that may be being attacked from the outside. He can protect us from falling into a relationship that is a detour, taking us from our real goal and mission in our life. He can be called to protect our loved ones, our family, our nations. The key, though, is to invite him into our life. By cosmic law, Michael waits to be asked before he can intercede. We can simply say, Archangel Michael, help me resolve and fill in the blank, this relationship, this decision. We can also call to Archangel Michael to avoid being unequally yoked. What does that mean? That means that we might, through spiritually being blind to a karma, we might feel a strong attraction and be in a relationship with someone that is not equally yoked. In other words, they don't have the same interest in the spiritual path as we do, and therefore can hold us back. So Archangel Michael can help us in that regard as well. He helps us to see more clearly. It's suggested that we enter into a period of aloneness and prayer before committing to a relationship. We can resolve karmic relationships by service and spiritual work, and we'll make room in our life for higher relationships. So entering into that period of prayer and aloneness is one of the tools we can use to prevent ourselves from the detour of unhealthy alliances. We're going to watch another video clip. This one is a 3-minute video clip of Elizabeth Clare Prophet giving advice during a question and answer session regarding relationships.
Recently I was engaged, and I became aware that there were some characteristics that he had that I didn't think I could live with. And yet, on the other hand, there were many fine characteristics that he had, and it was so difficult to separate from that person. And as I look back at it, I think it was wise that I did separate from him, but I'd like some guidelines.
Well, most people have a collection of good and bad qualities. And basically, we do decide on our relationships based on what we can live with in a person, what we can tolerate given the fact that there's a greater love that binds us. Now, determining who is your twin flame by whether a person has good and bad qualities is not a safe method, because the knowledge of the twin flame is very inner. And it's almost best to blind oneself and stop up one's senses and to follow the flame of the heart. And sometimes outer examination and analysis can be very misleading, because people, when they are desirous of having a mate, you can just observe the animal kingdom, especially the males. They have all the colors, and they strut and they perform, and they do everything under the sun to win this particular female. And so it's really not the time to judge a person in that period. But what we can do is go to the heart of hearts, and marriage is such a total commitment, especially when you're on the path, that it bears a period of aloneness, prayer, fasting, calling to Archangel Michael to protect oneself from what we are warned of in the Old and New Testament: be not unequally yoked together. Beware of entangling alliances. That means entangling alliances with the seed of darkness. And so God will tell you if you give him the opportunity to tell you. But if you don't want to know because you want this person more than you want the truth, then you can get into trouble. So you kept your eyes open. You said you were honest. I love this person, but I really can't live with these habits. That is wise on 2 counts. It's being honest, but it also admits the fact that there is a certain fallacy that many women make, and that is they marry someone thinking they will change him after they're married. And that never works. If it does work, you can be happy, but in fact, it's not fair. You have to marry a person on the basis of what they are, accept them as they are, and be ready to live with them as they are.
And if you can't, you're not entering into this contract, which is binding upon you, in all fairness. So if you want to change someone, postpone the marriage and change them beforehand.
Thank you. Wait for a sign from God that a relationship and the karma is over. So we have to make the best of any situation and a relationship that we've already entered into. We have to serve that partner and use the violet flame. And we never want to be the cause of breaking up another marriage, as we've already mentioned. So prayer is a way that we can ask for God to intercede in our decisions regarding relationships. This is an image of many of the Ascended Masters. We have Sanat Kumara, Lady Master Portia, Saint Germain, El Morya, Jesus the Christ, Magda, Mahachohan, Mother Mary, Kathumi, Nada, Gautama Buddha, Kuan Yin, Afra, Saint Therese of Avila. The Ascended Masters are our brothers and sisters in the heaven world, and they want us to reunite with our twin flame. In fact, an Ascended Master sponsoring us is the X factor that can make the difference. The Ascended Master El Morya, who is Elizabeth Clare Prophet's teacher, has composed a prayer that we can give if we desire that the karma may be separating us from our twin flame be set aside for a time. So, to seek the sponsorship of the Ascended Master, we might call upon El Morya, who has given us a prayer. He has said, I come to pierce the illusion that all problems are resolved by the meeting of twin flames or even soulmates. But I come with a statement of truth. All problems may be solved by this union when it is founded upon the rock of divine reality. We come and we sponsor because your hearts have yearned, your souls have prayed, your minds have sought to fulfill the reason for being in this life, sought to attain oneness with the perfect one. We will connect those for whom the connection results in a positive force for one another and for society. Understand that the highest and the most perfect love begins with your individual expression of the heart. The expansion of that flame of love until all irritation is consumed and pride is not in you. Then you will stand before your God, worthy of whatever blessing can be given. Inasmuch as personal karma is a key factor separating twin flames, and inasmuch as it is desirable that twin flames unite in service, the X factor that can make the difference is the entering in of one of the Ascended Masters to sponsor that union by pledging to take on the karma that does keep apart those souls. The sponsorship is like the sponsorship of the individual student, except it is the joint sponsorship of the twain. This is the prayer, and if you choose, you can say it with me. Oh God, I desire to perform the best service and to fulfill my inner vow with my twin flame. If it be that karma does separate us and therefore our service, I pray that the Lord God set it aside for an hour and a year, that we might show ourselves worthy, plow the straight furrow, enter into the service of our God and our country and of world freedom, that together we may choose to balance the karma. And we do choose to do so, Lord God. We pledge then, no matter what may come, that if we be united, we will serve in harmony by the grace of God to first balance the karma taken on by the Ascended Master, that one need not carry for us the burden that is truly our own. If you would like to study more in depth about the teachings regarding twin flames, this book, Mrs. Prophet's book, Finding a Higher Love, A Spiritual Guide to Love, Sex and Relationships, is on Amazon, can be purchased in paperback or as an ebook. These spiritual tools that we've learned today are just a snapshot of the full teachings of the Ascended Masters. And I invite you, those that find that they would like to pursue more understanding, to come back next Sunday, and we will explore more the violet flame and how to use that for our healing, our purification. And I invite you to take this mantra with you. I am a being of violet fire. I am the purity God desires, and use it this week. And I'd like to play for you a violet flame meditation of Mrs. Prophet. This is 5 minutes.
Now blaze and blaze and blaze. Come violet flame to raise and raise and raise. The earth and all thereon, the earth and all thereon, the earth and all thereon. Come violet flame, now raise and raise and raise. Come violet flame to blaze and blaze and blaze. The plants and elemental creatures, the plants and elemental creatures, the plants and elemental creatures. I am a being of violet fire. I am the purity God desires. I am that I am. I am that I am. I am that I am. Light set me free. Light set me free. Light set me free. Light I am. Light I am. Light I am. I am. I am. Light command. Light command. Light command. 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 Light demand. Light demand. Light demand. 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 Light expand. Light expand. Light expand. 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 Light I am, light I am, light I am, I am, I am. Light set me free, light set me free. I am a being of violet fire. I am the purity God desires. I am that I am. I am that I am, I am that I am, I am that I am. Here and now I take my vow to be thyself. Oh, be thyself as God in me. I see thyself as God in me. A flame to keep, a flame to know. This is the life that I would know. I am that I am, oh God. I am that I am, I am that I am, I am that I am. Violet flame come forth. Violet flame come forth. I command I am, I am. Seal me now in violet flame. Saint Germain, seal me now in violet flame. Fiery purple heart of Saint Germain. Command all life free. Set the captives free. Set the captives free. Set the captives free. Now and for eternity, God, victory, faith, hope, and charity come forth. Threefold light within my heart. Father, Son, and Holy Spirit, speak thy word, I would hear it. Oh, God, I am, God, I am, God, I am free. I am free, oh God. Come and be in me thyself. Thyself in God, in love, I am thy life, thy truth, thy way. Lord of life, I would be the fullness of thyself in form and formlessness. Blaze thy violet flame through me, freedom flame, I would see to set the captives free. Set the captives free, O God, expand throughout the earth, expand throughout the land, expand throughout the galaxies. Oh, blaze and sweep and burn, consume the cause and core, make darkness into light. Flame of Holy Spirit, enter now my temple. Sacred fire, burn and blaze, sacred fire, burn and blaze. Consume the cause and core, in every plane of being. Let darkness be all light, let darkness be all light. Let darkness be all light. In the name of the Christ, in the name of the I am that I am, I call it forth. and I accept it done this hour in full power. I am that I am. I am that I am. Amen. 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 Om. 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 Light, I am free. Light, I am free. Light, I am free. Joy expand to every heart, to every heart. Joy expand. I am in every heart, the violet flame. I move in thee, I live in thee, I am free in thee, everywhere, now and for eternity. I am a violet flame. I am a being of violet fire. I am the purity God desires. It is done, it is finished, it is sealed, I am healed, it is done, it is finished, it is sealed, I am healed, I am whole, I am one, I am love. Alpha and Omega, Alpha and Omega.